Dr. Seuss's Horse Museum, illustrated by Andrew Joyner. Art. What is it all about? This is what art is about. Art is when an artist looks at something, like a horse for instance, and they see something in that horse that excites them. So they do something about it. They tell you about it in any one of a number of ways. Artists have been excited by horses for as long as there have been artists. But what an artist tells us about horses and how they tell us is different for every artist. What an artist sees in a horse depends on many different things. Their background, likes and dislikes, you name it. So come with me. Let's look at how different artists have seen horses. Maybe we can find some new ways of looking at them ourselves. Look it over, think it over, talk it over. When most people look at me, they just see me like this. But when an artist looks at me, they see a million other things. Can you? Axis by Susan Rothenberg. Lintinol from Roquepus, France. Some artists look at a horse and see its outlines. To other artists, like this Chinese sculptor, a horse is not an outline at all. A horse is bulk, a solid form. Ernest Horse, Northern Wei Dynasty. A Japanese artist looked at a horse. What he saw is beautiful lines from head to tail. Study of Horses by Hakusai. Some artists look at horses and find color. Bodines of Horseback Racing by Maine Kantz, and a study for Sussex Farm Horse by Robert Cohill Bevan. Other artists are interested in shape. Oh, My Beautiful Horses, Navajo Pictorial Blanket, that's a weaving. Cavillo, Marina Marini. This artist looked at a horse and he saw strength. Horses straining in a load, Charles Berlot. These artists looked and they saw speed. Horses in Motion by Edward Maybridge. Derby at Epsom, Theodore Gerholt. A Spanish named Velázquez painted horses by the dozen. He saw them as something for kings and princes to sit on while he painted them. Velázquez worked for the kings and princes. He never got any money from the horses. This painting is by a Frenchman named Messenier. Horses to him were something necessary to carry generals into battle. He loved to paint generals going into battle. To him, the horse is a jeep in the days before the jeep was invented. On the rock walls in the cave of France, nearly 22,000 years ago, someone painted this horse by the light of a fire. What did the cave artist see in a horse? We don't know. It's a mystery. What do you think? 2,000 years ago in Greece, artists looked at horses and imagined them with wings. Pegasus is an immortal flying horse, a Greek mythology. Greek artists painted horses with wings as symbols for ideas like immortality that are hard to show in a picture. So this is a cave wall. And this one is a vase. 500 years ago In Persia, people thought a horse was for having fun on. And that's what the Persian artists saw when they looked at horses. A game of polo. 500 years ago in Italy, the artist Raphael looked at a horse. He thought that a horse was for fighting dragons on. St. George Fighting the Dragon by Raphael. Two Horses in a Paddock by George Stubbs. Of course, some artists looked at horses and wanted to paint them just as they appeared in the natural world, doing things that horses really do. We call this kind of art realistic. Horse Fair by Rosa Bonheur. At the Races by Edward Manet. Other artists looked at horses and tried to capture them in a moment of time. We call this style of art Impressionism. Impressionists are often have soft, slightly out of focus appearance. The Harness Horse by George Seurat. Then we come to what people call modern art. Some people call this crazy stuff. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But these are paintings, drawings, and sculptures that show what certain artists imagined when they looked at a horse. So please look at them very carefully. There are lots of ways of looking at things. Maybe these pictures have something to tell you. Surrealism is a way of looking at things, including horses, that draws on, in part, an artist's dream. Dreams can be very strange, and so can surrealist art. Maureen Rudding, Oscar Demonique. The Lost Jockey by Rene Magritte. Man with a Horse on His Head by Lucien Freud. Expressionism is an art style that uses exaggerated colors and brushstrokes to show the emotion an artist wants us to feel when we look at something. Horse Team by Edward Munch. What do you feel when you look at this? Blue Horse by Franz Marc. Cubism is a way of looking at things from different angles, all at the same time. Cubists don't want to copy things the way they normally look. Horsehead Study by Pablo Picasso. A famous artist named Picasso liked horses. He liked bulls too. He drew lots of them. Monitor and Horse by Pablo Picasso. Ooh, freaky. Abstract art can have a subject, but it doesn't need one. It uses color and shape to create a visual experience. These abstract images do have subjects, horses and riders, of course. This artist used just a few lines and splotches to color in the woodcut. But when you look at it, you can see a galloping horse and rider, right? That's Lyrical by Kandinsky. And this one is Life of Toussaint Louverture, number 34 by Jacob Lawrence. What do you see when you look at bunches of driftwood? The artist who made this sculpture saw a horse. This is by Deborah Butterfield. This abstract drawing in space shows what looks like a big, strong horse, but you wouldn't want to sit on its back. All it is made of is thin steel wire. Ouch! This is Horse by Alexander Calder. An American painter named Jackson Pollock found a hobby horse head and glued it onto a canvas before doing an abstract drip painting. Pollock drip spattered and flung paint as a way to insert himself into his paintings. Maybe this is Pollock on a horse. Wooden Horse by Jackson Pollock. See the head? So what do you think? Is it stuff crazy, or is it crazy good? Looking at art and thinking about it is fun. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Museums are good places to find art. You can find art in other places too. Such places to look is in a book. The horses shown below and to the right are from books illustrated by a man who never studied drawings. His name was Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss didn't ride horses. but he looked at them carefully and saw something in them. Can you guess what that something was? So, look at the horse once again. A horse is many, many things. It all depends on what you see. This is just an idea of some of the pictures that were seen in today's book. I hope you enjoyed it, and now I look forward to seeing your drawing of what a horse looks like. Or are you going to make a sculpture? Are you going to find other things and create a horse? That is your challenge. I look forward to seeing what you make.